Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo team the world's finest sons together as the Rising begins killing off superpowered people in Metropolis, with Superman and Nightwing teaming to discover the killer's true identities. Tom Taylor continues both his Nightwing and Son of Kal-El plotlines this issue with a neat team-up which builds on the friendship Dick Grayson and Jonathan Kent have, one that stretches back a number of years and also perfectly showcases the DC Universe moving forward with the continued focus on legacies and the new generations. It's a lot of fun having Dick act as a bigger brother to John, and not only that, but also mentor him in some crime-fighting ways, specifically more detective, investigative orientated ways. Another thing which sets John apart from his father. Another fantastic aspect of these heroes teaming up is the fact that neither of them are coming into it with an ego, unlike their parents, being that there are many stories of, say, Batman trying to be the leader in the team up thanks to it being set in Gotham and him thinking that that's his turf, and vice versa with Superman. So it's nice to see that all stripped away with this newer generation and them tackling it as equal partners, knowing that they can learn from each other and knowing that them bickering doesn't help with the situation. Bruno Redondo continues the series' brilliantly colourful and bold artwork. It was great seeing the Rebirth era Batman, Nightwing and Superman costumes make a comeback briefly at the beginning of this issue, and his depiction of the Fortress of Solitude was really quite fantastic, with really light blue and reds and whites to give it this kind of cool, cold, yet inviting feel. Nightwing issue 89 was a really fun team-up issue that pushed forward the plots of both Taylor's flagship books, wonderfully showcasing the brotherly relationship John and Dick share as a fun mystery begins unraveling itself around them. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Nightwing issue 89 heads to the past, where Batman and Nightwing jump from the Batwing into a dense forest, spotting a whole cave through the trees and into the rock in front of them. Nightwing hopes that Bruce called him already, but Bruce says that he's busy searching in space and this was one of several potential trajectories and he wants confirmation before he sounds the alarm. Suddenly heat vision blasts out of the impact crater in the rock wall, with Batman and Nightwing dodging it. Batman doesn't know what happened, but Dick knows that the boy hiding in the cave saw a giant bat show up, so of course he fired his heat vision at him. He pulls his domino mask and Bruce's cowl off, stepping into the cave as he tells them that there is nothing to be afraid of. He introduces himself as a work friend of his father, knowing it's finally good to meet Jonathan Kent. Bruce contacts Superman, telling him they found his son, and in a second, Superman is there, hugging John. John says that he flew and he got lost in the darkness and he kept getting more and more lost, making himself panic. Clark knows that that's what Batman thought happened as Bruce tells Batgirl they found John, wanting her to alert Lois and the Justice League to call off their searches. Dick meanwhile steals a lollipop from Batman's pouch, offering one to John as he tells him that Batman keeps the candy dangerously close to the smoke bombs. He wonders if John wants to see him juggle, so as Dick keeps John entertained, Clark thanks Bruce, but the hero knows that Superman has had to track down his fair share of Robins as well. Clark asks if you ever stop worrying about your children, and Bruce knows not for a single second, remembering how Alfred even still pops his head into his room when he's sleeping to check on him. He knows that they can't be there all the time though, as Clark knows that he was on another planet, but Bruce knows he's Superman, and that's going to happen all the time, and eventually he will need to just trust John will be okay, and he himself has made many mistakes with Dick, but look how he turned out. Superman isn't sure what worries him most, that he accidentally is going to offer a child a smoke bomb, or that he's going to throw a lollipop at the Joker and try and vanish. Bruce decides he'll move them to another pouch, as in the present, John meets with a hologram of his father in the Fortress of Solitude. He tells him of the Leviathan in Metropolis and how people died despite him moving it. Clark knows that that's one of the hardest things about their job, and they chose to help, but they can't save everyone. All they can do is do their best. John feels responsible and Clark doesn't expect anything less, knowing that it's not his fault. John knows how could he even know that since he's not even there, but Clark knows because he knows his son, and knows that he would have done everything in his power to help. John knows that the people think that he sided with the monster and 2 people are gone because of it, making Clark point out that many are still alive because of him. John, however, tells his AI father that lives aren't numbers, something Clark knows all too well, as John decides this isn't what he was hoping for, deactivating the crystal and knowing if he can't see his real father, he would prefer just some solitude. As he stands in silence, Kelleck watches him from the doorway, knowing something must be done. Later on in Bloodhaven, Dick is woken by Barbara, who tells him that there is a robot petting their dog. Dick quickly whips his baton at Kellex as he recognizes Superman's robot, but Kellex knows that his and Superman's relationship is a little healthier than master and servant. Dick wonders why he's breaking into his apartment, so the robot says that Kal-El asked him to seek out Dick Grayson if his son needed him, and he believes Jonathan Kent needs him for more guidance than a robot or AI of his father can provide. Dick remembers talking with Clark about this, knowing that he should have gone to check in on John by now. Barb knows he was pretty busy, but Dick reminds her that this was Superman who told him this. He decides that he is leaving in the morning to see John, but right now there is something he needs to do in Metropolis. In Metropolis, the hero Risk evades blaster fire, deciding he's done running, and not knowing who his attacker is, he's decided that he's ready for a fight now that they are cleared of civilians. They blast him again, but the hero states he's invulnerable as the Rising attack, blasting him into the ground and out into the bay, saying they know all about him and know that he was a Titan and also that he still needs to breathe. The Rising push him into the nearby bay, holding the hero underwater until he drowns. Elsewhere, Superman meets with Jay, telling him that he's been in the Arctic to see his hologram father. Jay jokingly says that he was just in Greenland talking with a construct of his uncle, thinking John has a weird life. He tells John he's got to head into work at the Truth, asking if John wants to come and meet with their main investor, Lex Luthor. John is shocked to learn this, but then Jay's face breaks, signaling that it was just another of his jokes. Jay apologizes for it, wanting to see that look on John's face, knowing that someone who moves at super speed, his face was stuck like that for so long. As he dons his domino mask, John asks who they really are meeting, soon learning that their investor is Dick Grayson, who they meet aboard their boat. Dick thinks that Gossamer is doing some good work there, knowing he's more than happy to continue funding the Truth, but it requires some trust, and it's hard to trust someone who's wearing a mask. John tells him that they can't remove the mask, and it's not about Gossamer, it's about someone who is close to him being in danger, and removing the mask will reveal who that person is and put them in more danger. Dick totally understands as the Air and Blink arrive, telling their friends that Risk was killed in Metropolis Harbor. Dick knows that they have some work to do, taking his leave, but not before whispering to Superman to meet him at the crime scene, surprising John. Later on, John meets with Dick at the crime scene, asking how he knew it was him under the domino mask. Dick knows he was a pretty good detective and spent a lot of time around people in masks. He knows that masks are effective, but you can't rely on them alone, and you need to hide your identity through other means, like changing your voice when wearing the mask. As they look over the scene, John asks if Dick knew who Risk was, but the hero didn't know him all too well, but knew he was a Titan, which makes him one of them. He knows that Risk was invulnerable and strong, so whomever did this was stronger. Nightwing asks what Superman sees and doesn't see, asking if there are any footprints or anything near Risk. Scanning the area with his various visions, Superman can't find anything, knowing whomever did this didn't actually touch the ground. Dick already knew as much as Oracle contacts him, telling them that Risk wasn't the only powered person killed last night, and an empath was killed in Brazil, and a telekinetic hero was thrown out of the sky in Spain. The heroes know that someone is definitely murdering superpowered people as Superman scans the area again, this time finding a faint energy trail. The heroes follow the trail through the streets of Metropolis, finding it leads to where almost everything bad leads in Metropolis, right to Lex Luthor's door.